This is the Not Bitter, Just Better podcast.
The Everton Hour.
Straight from the street end.
Howdy Blues, welcome to Not Bitter, Just Better Everton podcast. Mr. Johnny Seven here, and as always, but it's been weekly rather than twice weekly over the last 3 weeks due to jollies and work schedule and all that kind of stuff. So I've had to find a little computer hardware room. So you see all the boxes and that behind me, unless I can blare them out. So quiet room to come and record this today, and just doing one a week whilst adjusting again, and probably back to twice a week next week. But another busy week being a Blue. Strange recording it after the loss. Not nice after such a good spell, apart from that red shite one, of course. But I'll come on to that in a little bit. No shame in the defeat at the weekend. To the champions. Don't know how long we can call them that for, but they still are at the moment. So no shame in that. Before we get on to the game, just want to talk a little bit about Friday night. So Friday night in Segura, so Paul was doing one of his Goodison tours, the first of three. So in there he had Pat Van Der Now, Joe Parkinson, Barry Orn, and Derek Mountfield on. So really nice to catch up with them. It was a late one. So started there. So that would have been Good Friday, wouldn't it? Yeah, well, I'm still all over the place with my time here. 6 o'clock start, and it went on till about midnight, but we probably stayed until about 1:30, 2, and I had another little wander up to Goodison. I'm still not ready to let go yet. And even when we got there, one of the lads brought a laptop and had a YouTube playlist on with memories of Goodison, and I felt myself going before I even had a bev. Just really, I don't know what it's going to be like on that last day. I'm I'm working on a little something. So 31 or 32 years, my season ticket, and working on something. Seasons come, seasons go, jobs come, jobs go, friends come, friends go, partners, players, managers, board members. But Goodison's been that constant, and I feel myself getting choked up now talking about it. And so it's going to be a sad one. The match itself, match on Saturday, so 2 o'clock start there. So and then back to Segura. I got there about 1. So I think Paul got there about 12. So an hour head start on me, and back on it. Couple of bebs, or 5 or 10, and made our way up there. So I think we were early for once. We got there for the 4 Z cars. It's unreal. So the starting lineup, Moisey went with Browier up top again. So Pickford, O'Brien, Tarkowski, Brandwaite, and Mikalenko. Then Idrissa, James Garner, Harrison, Decore, Njai, and Browier up top. And it was decent enough start from Everton. Couple of decent chances, disciplines, defensive setup, effectively containing City's attacking threats. The main closest they came, I think it was Nunes had a long range effort, and Pickford scrambled down to his left to push it away, just going in the bottom corner. That was the probably the closest either side came. Let's see. Well, Tarkowski nearly gave us the lead with a powerful header, but struck the post. Brandwaite also came close, but his effort was saved by Ortega. They also had one, I think it might have been De Bruyne, and O'Brien got his head down and nodded it wide. So, we're doing this Wednesday now, so I won't go into all the chances, just the key moments. let's see, second half, we're still doing okay, but then a key moment happens when Tarkowski pulled up and went down straight away, and you could tell, how many games has he played in a row. He doesn't just go down like that, so you could tell it was pretty much a serious one, and unfortunately limps off. And Keane came on, and this has had a lot of criticism from a lot of Blues, saying it was a little bit of a strange one, considering it looks like Keane's on his way out. Maybe the more sensible choice. It's a tricky one, isn't it? Because a sensible choice bringing Patterson on, who played last week, on and pushing O'Brien into the centre. But Moisey's come out and defended his decision and said that would have been too many changes. But when Keane did come on, he looked well off it. Booked shortly after coming on, and then was just nowhere for the goals. Very sloppy, and in hindsight, you know, it probably might have been a better decision to bring Patterson on and then pull O'Brien inside. And who knows what the score would have been if that would have happened. Um, it didn't. It didn't happen, and unfortunately, the Blues, after looking like we might have just played it out for a 0-0, City went 1-0 up, and O'Reilly, who looked really, really good from left back for them young lads, scored at the front post, up at the top right hand edge of Everton's 6 yard box. Like, what's he doing up there? Um, Scored his first Premier League goal. Of course, it would be his first goal, converting after a low cross from Nunes. And then later on, in stoppage time, Kovacic scored, well placed shot. It looked like he tackled the ball into the net really after an assist from Gundogan. He kind of slid as he hit it, but still great finish. And he's done ones like that before, hasn't he, Kovacic? But so Blues 2-0, and as I said before, no shame in. In losing to City. City, we knew it wasn't going to be an easy game. You can be optimistic. We still give them quite a lot to worry about, and we still put a fight in there. We didn't fold, but unfortunately, we went down to a 2-0 defeat. Some of the match statistics: Everton 32.6% versus 67.4% to City possession. Shots on target: Everton 3, City 7. A couple of months ago, we weren't even having a shot anywhere near on target. So 3 shots against City, they still had 7. So it shows, they were more dominant in those kind of positions, but we still give them a good go. Total shots: Everton 8, City 12, corners 2 to City's 5, saves. Pickford made 4 saves, and Everton had 4 yellow cards to City's none. I think I was a little bit squiffy again by this point. This a bit of a pattern emerging here, isn't it? Post-match reflection. So Guardiola had some nice words to say about the atmosphere at Goodison, reflecting on the experience at the ground, acknowledged the difficulty of playing there, and also said that Liverpool and Arsenal both came here and failed to win. So nice and respectful from him. Also respectful from De Bruyne, expressed his gratitude for the warm reception received. So when he went for corners, he was getting a round of applause after his announcement last week, saying that he's going to be moving on in the summer. Also, when he was taken off, he got a decent reception going off as well. And so, talking about that respect, and I was one of the ones who clapped, and I've seen people saying you've got to give your head a wobble if you clap De Bruyne. It's just a matter of respect, isn't it? He's one of the best midfielders we've ever seen in the Premier League. So, for a lot of kids growing up, they won't know anything other than the Premier League. Let's say kids, a lot of adults now, they won't have seen anything other than the Premier League, and he's definitely one of the most consistent week in, week out, and his stats show that. And he's not one of those who has had a lot of controversy or anything. He's just been consistently good, and yeah, I think a show of respect is fair there. So yeah, hopefully might put a little bit of put us a little bit of a word in for us as well, or put us in a little bit of higher esteem. So when he does make a choice to move to a new club, he might forgo the hundreds and hundreds of thousands per week in Saudi or in America, and then think, you know what, the Northwest is all right, and Everton or might be an option. Just do it. You've got to give it a shot, haven't you? Yeah, I'd love to see that. Pickford highlighted the influence of Moisey on the team's defensive organisation, resilience. So, saying stuff like, he wants competition every day and defends every day in training. Sorry, and making sure that every day there's that competitive nature, and we've seen that in all of the games he's been in charge so far. So it's that mentality change within the club. I mentioned this last week, saying about when we did that run of draws, the percentage of wins, we're on a par with the percentage of wins like Dyche had over his spell. The thing is there though, the mentality there is completely different, and it's leagues apart. So yeah, so it's nice to see. Pickford also came out and defended Michael Keane's performance. Someone's got to. Whilst don't think he's the worst defender we've ever seen, I think he's taken he's taken a real knock since a few years ago when he came out and said something about his mental health not being what it could be, and I don't think he's recovered from that. I think that puts a stigma still in people's minds, and if you admit that you haven't got that strength and you're meant to be a big, strong centre back, I don't care what people say. There still is a stigma attached to it, and I don't think he quite recovered. I think you have to work doubly hard, and unfortunately he hasn't performed on a number of occasions, and he's found himself not being the strongest option when he could have been, and ducking out the challenges and not being positionally aware, and he just looks floundering a lot of the time. And I think he's done a decent job for Everton over the years, and it looks like it's time to move on for him, doesn't it? So another one of those high earners, and you just can't see where he'd come in, and hopefully, Moyes will be looking towards next season and look at Patterson and look at potentially looking at O'Brien in the centre and going with that rather than giving Keane another chance, or maybe even throwing Pickford at right back, throwing Coleman in there at right back, and bringing O'Brien into the middle, and seeing how that partnership might work out. If depending on how long Tarkowski's out for. We'll talk about that a little bit later on as well. Moyes has commended the team's effort and discipline throughout the match, despite the disappointing result. Acknowledged the impact of Tarkowski's injury and the team's stability, and we did. The team did have a level of stability and looked strong until then. But we emphasised the need to regroup, and the City game is going to be the Chelsea game, is going to be a whole other challenge when that comes around on Saturday. So the whole overall summary: disciplined defensive performance for majority, effectively containing City. But then Tarkowski came close to the score and hit the post, but then he forced off due to a hamstring injury. Hopefully not that serious. City persistence paid off. Nico O'Reilly broke the deadlock, and then Kovacic sealed the victory. And the Blues go down to a 2-0 defeat. So I sounded happy about that. I'm really not, I promise you. So yeah, not the best result for the Blues, and we just have to move on, pick ourselves up again. The lasting effect of it, obviously, with the other results of the weekend, Everton are mathematically safe now, so it's not entirely disastrous, but obviously we want to keep on picking up those points and moving keep looking up towards the top half of the table. It's going to be a stretch to get close to that, but that's where we've got to be looking rather than over our shoulders, and keep on moving towards that. So I'm going to leave that there, and then I'm going to be back with a very, very short Everton news in a sec.
This is Bob Latchford. I'm not bitter, just better.
News.
Okay, so the Everton news of the week so far, new today. I'm going to read this straight from this because it's only just come out, this one. Christopher Sarafim has joined as investor. American billionaire Christopher Sarafim has become an investor in Everton's ownership group, Roundhouse Capital. Manages approximately 31 billion through his firm Fires Sarafim & Co. and holds a minority stake in NFL's Houston Texans. Will serve as an observer on Everton's board. And it sounds like he's a good one to have on board there, doesn't it? Literally, if he's got that kind of money coming in. Part of a broader strategy by the Freaking Group to enhance the club's financial and operational prospects. Other financial structuring, implemented significant financial changes, including reducing debts and securing the 350 million refinancing, which is earlier on this year, to save up to 50 million annually. And I'm just going to move on from that a little bit. Still on track, all the test events gone well. We should be seeing 60 million boost in the new stadium turnover just on that alone. So that is going to be massive. And then finally, with regards to the club management and leadership changes, Angus Kinnear has been utterly completely confirmed, and he's going to work closely with Moisey. Kevin Thelwell's obviously he's not going to be sticking with the Blues. That was announced earlier on in the year as well. But signalling a shift towards a more collaborative approach in football operations. And you know what? This really could lead to Moyes having a longer term kind of role within the club. Maybe, that's something to keep an eye on. Once he's kind of feels like his work's done in the first team, could he kind of bring a younger manager through and maybe move upstairs himself? Other kind of news, the test events still looking good. Sorry, I am just whizzing through this. I've got a meeting in a minute. Apparently, we're interested in David Hanko from Feyenoord, Feyenoord defender. Still strong links with Liam Delap again, and there's been more links with Kwanzaa again from the Shite, and so that doesn't seem to be going away. It's not a persistent, all over the place kind of one, but it's creeping in a little bit more and a few more stories. So other stuff. There doesn't seem to be any movements yet about the contract renewals. So we still think Idrissa Gueye is probably likely to sign. Decore, it's 50-50 seems, but they're the only ones who there seems to be any real talk about. Calvert-Lewin looks to be on his way, and the other ones like Keane and Ashley Young, and there doesn't seem to be much hope for the loanees. It doesn't look like Broyer's done enough to impress. Same with Lindstrom, same with Harrison. And the other one that we've got to keep an eye out, of course, is Alcaraz, who didn't get many minutes again. But I think he has been. He's obviously in Moisey's plans somewhere. It's just I don't think they want to trigger that full-on start. So he's still got to be worth a pop, hasn't he? The other one, Seamus Coleman. I didn't mention there. Moisey's hinted that he would want him to stick around in some kind of capacity. Just to mention this a few weeks ago as well, didn't I? So, will he get a better offer elsewhere which gives him a little bit more security? Like a 2-3 year contract elsewhere, maybe in one of the clubs coming up or somewhere in the Championship where he'll get a more security and some kind of coaching role. Everton, I think he'll offer him more coaching side with an element of playing. He still might get more playing with a little bit of coaching in a lower division side or a side coming up. So I just hope he gets to say his farewells properly if he does go. And I don't know, give him, has he had another testimonial? Has he give him that in the new ground as well? We'll see. Finally, the Premier League prize money. So far, it looks like, I don't know where this is coming from, 131.92 million in prize money across all competitions, placing us 15th so far. I don't know where that figure's come from. But with the league positions, we could be looking at, if we can get as high as 10th, 34.3 million, 11th, 31.1, 12th, 28. So there's around 3.1 million between each place in the league. So if we finish as 17th, it's 12.5 million. If we end up getting 12th, 13th, we're looking 28 or 25 million. So obviously the incentive there to go out this season with a bang is there. Okay, so I'm going to leave the Everton news there, Blues, and I will record the Chelsea preview later on.
This is the Not Bitter, Just Better Everton podcast. If you haven't already, go and like us on Facebook, facebook.com/EFC Not Bitter, Just Better, or you can find us on Twitter @JustBetterEFC.
Okay, Blues, there you have our social media links, so please make sure you go and like, follow, subscribe, all that good shiz. It's been about 30 seconds for you and about, let's see, about 6 hours for me. So, yeah, doing this at home now. Had to change again my locations, but sorry for the quick fire news. There isn't a whole lot, is there? We're just trying to go through stuff. I don't know what I'm going to do over the summer. I've been thinking about this before, because obviously I was doing the twice weekly show, and over the past 3 weeks I've just done once weekly. Is there going to be enough to sustain a twice weekly show over the summer? Hopefully there's like a million things to talk about with all the exciting new changes and transfer rumours and all that kind of stuff. So I guess we'll see. So preview, next game coming up, Chelsea away. Before we get to that, if you do hear this on Wednesday night, Thursday morning or Friday morning, I think Paul's got a couple of cancellations on Friday night for one of the tours. At least 3 club legends are going to be on the tours. I think he had a couple of groups split between the legends group. So Barry Orn and Joe Parkinson, and who was the others? Said it before, Pat Van Den Au and Degsy Mountfield. I think Snods is on this one, and he's hosting. So you'd have to give us a shout early on if you hear this and are interested. And there are 2 more. Friday's one, and there's one May 10. So keep an eye out if there are any more cancellations on them, because it's going to be, I think the club have stopped theirs now. So now it's the limited last few events at Goodison before the last 2 games. So anyway, moving away from Goodison, we go to Chelsea, the 12:30 kickoff on Saturday at Stamford Bridge, live on TNT, Saturday 26th of April. And Chelsea have had a bit of a hit and miss season. They've been great at times, but they're not the Chelsea of yesteryear. But I guess they are the Chelsea of yesteryear, because they're not all dominating again, are they? The last lineup: Sanchez in goal, Reece James, Chalobah, Colwell, Cucurella, Casido and Fernandes in holding midfield, and forward midfielders Madueke, Cole Palmer and Pedro Neto, and strike up front Nicholas Jackson. And we've got quite a strong bench as well. Obviously Sancho on there and Dewsbury Hall and Gusto on there. So they're chasing Champions League. So we're going there on the back of that City game, and we are hoping to get our form back in line. It's not dropped off totally, as it, but we want to bounce back. If we can go there and put out a good performance, come away with a point or 3, then it takes us into the home stretch of the season. And this April has just been relentless, hasn't it? And we've got a handful of points from it. So we would not have guessed that around Christmas time. Around Christmas time, we probably would be happy to take 1 point out of April, never mind what we've taken. So the Chelsea team news. So Palmer is a doubt. He had a muscular injury before the Chelsea game against Arsenal and been undergoing further assessment. it's ongoing, and he might not be fit for Saturday, but he might be. So their injury doubts, they've got quite a hefty list. Giu is doubtful. I hope I said his name now. Gusto, doubtful. Lavia is out. Fofana, out for the season. Kellyman, out for the season. Obviously, I've just mentioned Palmer. They've still got a few ones to watch, haven't they, with Fernandez and Jackson. And, you know, the amount of money they put into the squad, there's always going to be risks and ones to watch. Hopefully, not to wish any ill will on Cole Palmer, but he's done us a few times, hasn't he? So hopefully he doesn't quite make this game, and hopefully that will make it a little bit easier for us. As far as the Everton team news, obviously Broja is ineligible, and that factored into why he started and why Chimiti wasn't even on the bench against City, didn't it? Moisey came out and said that he wanted to have a look at Broja, and obviously Beto was the lineup because he knew that Broja wouldn't be available against Chelsea. So whether he starts with Beto and has Chimiti come in, or Chimiti come in with Beto on the bench, that remains to be seen. But it'd be interesting to see either way. It'd be nice for Chimiti to get a run though, wouldn't it? So hopefully we'll see a little bit more out of him anyway. Tarkowski is a doubt. We won't know the extent of that. I've not seen anything today about the extent of that. But if he does miss it, mentioned this before, and mentioned about the little bit of frustration from Everton fans about the changes last Saturday with Keane coming in. Surely this has got to be an opportunity now to either get Coleman back in for his last few games, potentially, or get Pato in to have a look ahead of next season, see whether he has got that value there. Maybe even Ashley Young for a couple of games and a little bit more experience on the right, where it's less susceptible to be like. You can still get torn apart, but Young's proven to be a lot more reliable this season than Michael Keane, hasn't he? So, whilst they're both in a similar boat, similar position, and with Coleman in there as well, I wouldn't mind if they put either Young or Coleman out there at right back and brought O'Brien in, because it's still having a look at the future with O'Brien in the centre. If he brings Keane in, it just puts a lot of... First of all, it kicks off a load of negativity around before we've even kicked off, and we are the early kick-off, so it puts a sour taste in people's mouths already. And we could do without it the last few. Obviously, Moisey knows best, but there was a little bit of criticism, and it's probably the first lot of real criticism since he's come back that I've heard about his changes on last Saturday. But Patterson hopefully comes in at right back if Tarkowski's out. Hopefully Tarkowski makes it. You know, the fact he walked off the pitch on his own, and he'll be eager to keep his run going. Hopefully he'll be okay to come back in. But would you risk him as well? But hopefully we'll see Patterson come in if Tarkowski doesn't make it, and give O'Brien a look in the centre. So that typical 4-5-1 formation with 4 centre-backs, 2 holding midfielders, 3 midfielders a little bit more advanced, and then 1 up top, and one of those midfielders pushing up to assist Beto or Broja or Chimiti, whoever it might be. In the past few weeks, it's been Decore, hasn't it? So that looks like that will be the option again. Might be a chance to throw Alcaraz in to go up top and hold on to the ball a little bit more, which is something that he's got over Decore in his game. So that might be an option as well. So Everton looking to rebound from the loss against City. Chelsea look to capitalise on home advantage. I think with Segura, they do their annual overnight, and that's the overnighter for this. So this is a good opportunity for Blues to go down there Friday morning, have a few scoops in London Friday day, then Friday night, but it's the early kickoff on the Saturday, so they've got the opportunity as well to have a few scoops after and then come back. Saturday night and still get a few more scoops. So that sounds boss to me. Except I've got to work Friday morning, so wouldn't be able to do it. Strong home record against the Blues. Have Chelsea not having lost to them in the last 29 home games. Surely it can't be the last one that we won was the one Paul Rideout scored. That can't be it. I think that's 30. We probably won one since. So let's see. So ones to watch from them. If Cole Palmer does make it, 14 goals this season, and as I said before, he's done us a few times, and he's even though he went off the boil a little bit, he looked unplayable at times this season. He's not been as on fire, but he's still a very, very talented player and one to watch for sure. So if he does make it, Cole Palmer, Nicholas Jackson, he has got a lot of pace and. He's a tricky one because he does miss a few chances, but sometimes he's super clinical as well. It's I guess it's the difference from him being on on the outskirts of the Champions League to being right up there. Because if he had that, if he was more clinical throughout, he'd be at City or the Shite or Madrid or Barca or the like. And Chelsea aren't quite in that realm again yet. Fernandez, playmaker, offering controlling games. Neto, obviously he's always going to be a threat. And Reece James, solid defence, and he scored a great free kick for England, and obviously offers another threat there as well. For us, if Ndiaye comes in, he's always one to watch as an outlet. He scored a few penalties, but he's also offered some from open play as well. And good outlet, good going with the ball. We need him to start recapturing that form and going past players with the ball again now. He's not quite done that again since he came back from his injury. Obviously, we need Pickford to be on his game and Garner. Garner kind of, it goes without saying, we need him to be on top of his game, but he always is. So, but I've got Decore here, potentially up whoever he's going to support, whether it's going to be Chimiti or Beto. But that other one in midfield, if he doesn't make it, Alcaraz or Garner, just making use of the ball is going to be key. So that's what we're going to need in these last few games. Just being a little bit more productive with the ball. So the betting odds, Chelsea have gone from odds for their win 1.63 to 1.74 on to win. So as you know, I don't do predictions, but I predict I will probably be watching it with a hangover after going out on Friday night and maybe heading into town for a bit. Hopefully watching at home and going into town afterwards for a bit on a high. And then, that's it. We just the season's just whittling by now, innit? So we've got the last few at Goodison coming up, and then building now, and then Bramley, and then who knows what the future holds. Thanks for joining me as always, Blues. Thanks for all your interactions again. Been a little bit slow with the social medias again. Still am putting stuff out. Just in this weird limbo with holiday and being back in work. Just finding me groove again. I think I'm one who lives on routine, so I want to get it back to my usual, and then I'll get back on it proper. So I will catch you all next week, maybe Monday, maybe Wednesday, hopefully talking about a win anyway. See you later. Come on, you Blues.